Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Bram LaGroux, founder and managing director of LaGroux Partners. How important is emotional intelligence? And how important is that we find the seed of good in anything and everyone? Today, I'd really like to share with you how business success really starts with you. It starts with you. We obviously covered already the thinking process. We also looked at the pitching and how we really need to consider brain research and the likes in order to be more influential and more successful in our communication. But this time here, we're going to bring it back to ourselves in terms of two specific habits that we can develop in order to become more successful, more celebrated as a leader and respected and highly regarded as well. If you want to really feel great most of the time, right? Or earn more, live longer, be happier, enjoy greater health, boost your immune system, and look younger, if any of those sort of things appeal to you, this video again is going to be a great resource to you. So let's just jump into it right away. Here's the two habits that I would like you to adopt and buy into. The good news is that you've got free will to decide what works for you and what you're not willing to do at all. The first one is express your gratitude daily. Thanks to my wife. My wife has read a lot of books, and just about a year ago, I came across one of her books, and it's written by Dr. John DeMartini. He's an international best-selling author, travels around the globe as an international speaker, and he's written probably about 70-odd books. Now, one of those books is called The Gratitude Effect. I warmly recommend you this book. Now, based on this one, I've started adopting a habit of every night before I go to sleep, after a full day, I reflect back, I take stock of all the things that I'm grateful for, and I use the exact formula, I am grateful for, and I start listing all the various things that I'm grateful for. So I could say, for example, I'm grateful for, having spent a wonderful day with my wife and my son. I'm grateful for the fact that my son, came to me and gave me a big hug and said something really nice that I appreciated. I'm grateful for, winning this piece of work with that organization over there. I'm grateful for, having smashed our targets this month. Or, looking back on an entire year, and it was an absolute brilliant year in terms of business development. I'm grateful for, having built a relationship with that client over there, and it's gone from rags to riches in a way. So all of these things you start listing, but you always look back on the last 24 hours. Now, very important that you take notice of the next thing. Sometimes we get challenged. Sometimes we've had a hard conversation. Sometimes we had, let's say a client approaches and actually pull away their business. I would like you to consider to even look for ways to express gratitude around those things, because they may teach you a valuable lesson. Then, for example, when the client pulls away their business from you and it's like a really big, account, you may actually start seeing that you've got some work to do around your customer experience, or the way that accounts are being looked after and cared for, or maybe we haven't cared for them enough. And so by the fact that that client approached us and it fell on deaf man's ears and we didn't do anything at all, and then the client took, the business away, that is a valuable learning lesson if we choose to recognize it as such. So in a way, there's a blessing in it, right? And that's the one that I definitely would recommend you to also acknowledge, that you express your gratitude around, right? So look for the ways and list them, take stock. Now, what you will find, especially when you've had a challenging day, and sometimes we feel a bit drained, sometimes there's concern around a few things, and we could easily go to sleep and have a very bad type of sleep, broken up, waking up, going for a glass of water, moving through the house, sitting up, reading a book, trying to go to sleep again. And it's just like all this internal noise going around, especially to avoid that from happening and instead have a wonderful, restful sleep. This habit of expressing your gratitude daily is exactly the one that is going to reduce that noise, and it's going to bring you back in a different state of mind. in a different sensation within that allows you then to go peacefully to sleep, as opposed to being up awake and being worried about all sorts of things. The more you express your gratitude, the better you sleep, the better you feel, the more your energy goes up, the more you earn, and the likes, because you were looking for the seed of good in anything, and because you do look for it and make sure that you do find it, your future is guaranteed. So the second habit there then is the following. It's amazing, I find, the small amount of people that are taking enough stock of how well they are nourishing their body and their mind with enough oxygen. Just think about it. When you and I become stressed, perhaps fearful and worried, we tend to breathe in certain ways that are actually almost draining your body from all the refreshing energy that you need. So apart from the foods you take, the things you drink, all of that obviously creates a certain effect within our body. But apart from that, breathing is that other great part that a lot of people just take for granted because we do it automatically. We think we do it well most of the time. And that obviously, you and I, when we really think about it, we know that is not the case. Just think about it when you're climbing up on stage and you are addressing an audience and there's quite a few of them and you're not used to it. Most people start to panic. Most people start to feel rather fearful or are thinking that they may screw up and start blurting around, and their heartbeat changes. Their throat becomes drier. They start to have this sort of tickling sensation in their head. They may start having like really sore shoulders and pain in their back and all sorts of things. It just shows that a lot of things start happening when we are under stress, when we feel being attacked, when we feel uncomfortable in having a certain conversation with someone, a performance management review and the like. They all induce certain states, certain emotions within ourselves. And because we're not necessarily managing our emotions and our thoughts around it, our breathing goes worse and worse. And as a result, it actually lowers our performance, whether in sales, in leadership, in communication overall. It does hamper our performance. So here's what I suggest you to do instead. Whenever you feel that negative sentiment and thoughts are almost trying to paralyze you and make you breathe less well, right? That typically is going to increase your carbon dioxide. It's going to increase the nitrogen. It's going to make you feel certain ways and meaning more negative. So everything is there, it's dragging you down. In order to avoid that from happening, there's 3 steps that I'd like to share with you that are easy to implement. And so the first thing is to recognize that you are drifting off, that you are getting more negative, that you are feeling more negative and thinking more negatively. As soon as you do that, what you do is you recognize it and take a step back. Physically, you take a step back. Now, whether you stand, you can take a step back. Whether you sit down, you just move back in your chair, right? Just a tiny little tick. It just helps you to almost literally pull you out of the situation by just making that little step. That's step number 1. Step number 2 then is you are inhaling fresh oxygen, and while you're doing it, you tell your brain to let everything good inside of your body, to welcome it as a refreshing, restoring energy, to feed your brain and give all of your muscles the right dose of oxygen to be at its best. So you are almost tanking fresh energy. So as you're inhaling, during that little time, I spoke to my mind and I said, let me replenish myself. That was step 2. Now, obviously, as you inhale, you need to let go of something. So step 3 then is the following. You exhale. And as you exhale, you tell yourself that you let go of everything and anything that is not serving you in any way. So it means you let go of all the CO2, the nitrogen, toxic thoughts, negative feelings, and all grudges and past baggage that you've accumulated over the time. Now, just think about the power of this alone. If you are letting go of anything that is not serving you and that you find negative and it impedes your success in any kind of way, if you let go of that on a regular basis, and coupled with obviously tanking fresh energy instead, what you're doing here is you are training your emotional household to clear out and refresh everything as you would with your house. The more waste we gather in our household, the more we just leave it sitting in there, the more it starts to occupy space and the more it starts to reek. Well, obviously you and I have already got a habit of clearing out the stuff that we don't need and put it in the bin and just move it out of the house. We do that on a weekly basis, or if not a daily basis. So it's a habit that we've got in our normal household. Well, here's your habit now to apply in your internal household. Taking stock of certain situations and leaving all the negative thoughts and feelings, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. The judgment, the grudges, the resentment, the fear, the anger, just let go of it in that third step, exhale. The more you do so, the more you're going to feel great, the more you're going to boost your immune system, the more you're going to look younger, the more you're going to have better health and enjoy it longer, the more you're going to live longer and the likes, and you're going to look after yourself more. You're going to feel happier overall. These are just two really powerful habits to get into. Expressing your gratitude daily and making sure that daily you invest some time in breathing well. The reason why so many yogis, meditation experts, spiritual leaders, coaches in sports, high performance sports insist on breathing well is because it pays obviously dividends. It's got benefits for us. And the longer you delay them, the more you're going to not enjoy them. So I really encourage you to take them on. Take them on right now. Do something with it right away. And I look forward to hearing how you go with it. My name is Bram. I wish you a fantastic day. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.